It's Rainer bringing us in on the accordion for our first day here at Challenge Roth for the 12th edition of the Challenge Roth race. My name is Bob Babbitt. This is Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Triathlon Park here in Roth, Germany, and with me, the guy who makes it all happen, Mr. Felix Walchshofer, who is the CEO of Team Challenge. How you doing, Felix?
Good morning, Bob. Really well, really well. I'm very glad that finally you came over. I think I've been working on that many years, so
we've been
delighted.
chatting about it for years.
Exactly.
You've been chatting about it for years, and just being here and the fact this is Triathlon Park, this event dominates the city. I mean, this is an event that is part and parcel of the city itself, correct?
Totally. The population here turns completely crazy when triathlon hits the town, and even before that, because over all the years we have so many athletes coming here to train all the year, and so it's really a triathlon city. And the government in Berlin even put a sign on the A9 motorway saying Triathlon County of Germany. So
nice.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
So give me a little background. This was originally, this race started how many years ago before it became Challenge Roth? It was an Ironman, and even before that, it was just a triathlon here in Roth.
Definitely, yeah. The race started in 1984, and 1982 Detlef Kühnel was the first German to compete in Hawaii.
Right.
And he came back with this crazy idea to a very small Franconian city, saying, okay, let's do a triathlon. And everyone thought he's completely crazy. But 84, about 25 people started in a triathlon.
25 people?
Yeah. So this is how it all began here.
So similar to the Ironman creation.
Definitely.
With the same type of small group.
Yeah.
And then it became an Ironman. And that was, your dad was involved in that, correct?
Yes, Detlef started the Ironman in 88, but my father was always running the PR side of things, marketing. He was the head announcer of this event for many years. And then 2001, Detlef retired.
Right.
And my father, he was head of tourism Nuremberg. And so he went into triathlon, took over the company, and then we created Challenge.
And created Challenge in 2002.
Correct.
So this is the 12th annual, and the growth during that time has been pretty amazing.
Yes, no, it has. I think it's really depending on our population here, and they made it really possible. Everyone gets completely mad in triathlon days. You will see it on the weekend. We have on Solar Hill, we have 50,000 people
50,000?
50,000 just on one hill. So it's crazy. Last year, police estimations were 200,000 spectators on the whole course, and it's just awesome.
And how many people live in Roth?
24,000.
24,000.
We have 24,000 people living here. We have 24 hotel beds.
24
in
hotel
Roth,
beds.
exactly. So thousands of athletes actually live in homestay families. So a lot of Germans just open up their home and say, okay, as long as you're not German because they want to speak English or French or Spanish, you're invited in. So and of course, they also host a lot of Germans. But that's the concept, how we have to work, because we have so small accommodation.
Right. Well, what's interesting to me, you think about the growth of Ironman, the growth of rock and roll marathon. A big part of that is the heads and beds theory, hotels. Everybody generates a lot of revenue, but here you don't have the hotel revenue. So in terms of this, the benefit for the city, obviously the awareness, because you've got all these people coming. When the city looks at this and the county looks at this, the benefit for them of this event?
Well, it's two sides. First thing is through the media. Roth is popular in whole Germany during race week, and it's we have live TV coverage into German television, into French television, etc., etc. So that helps Roth a lot. But then also we had a statistical institute who had a look at how much money comes into the county, because athletes do go to the gas station, they do go to the supermarket,
the meals,
they do go to restaurants, they do sleep here. So it's about 9 million euro only until race week, because people come here for training. On the weekends here, Roth is booked out just because athletes come for training. And not only athletes who compete in Roth, but athletes who compete in Frankfurt. They come here to train because the roads are super slick. The local government, the first roads that they repair after winter are the challenge roads.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And just people know the triathletes. They are very, very careful. No one would honk the horn to overtake an athlete. So everyone is just loving the athletes here.
What was interesting when we were chatting yesterday, and you mentioned how much of this is a family and friends event for you, because you have friends in charge of certain areas of the event. when you get close to race day, what will you do on race day while everything's going crazy?
Well, I'll go early out to the swim start because it's a very, very special atmosphere out there. It's awesome when it's still dark. You have the
misty,
mist.
You get out there 3 in the morning.
I get goosebumps. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll see my team out there to see that everything is fine. Then at 5:45, we have all directors coming in, police coming in, firefighters coming in. So we have the go, no-go scenario.
Right.
If we have any problems on the course or not. And then 6:30 we have the swim start of the first wave.
Right.
And then I'll be going on the motorcycle. I'll do the 2 loops of the bike course. I stop at all the 8 stations to thank our volunteers.
You do. You like basically shake hands and thank people for being out there.
Yeah. Because our soul here are the volunteers. We have 5,700 volunteers, so we have more volunteers than athletes.
How many participants?
3,000 single and 550 in relay teams.
So wow, so really basically about 5,000 people.
About 5,000 people racing, yeah. And only in the challenge, but we have the junior challenge as well with 600. We have the corporate challenge on Friday with about 400. We have the women's run with 600, and so there's a lot of things going on around the actual event as well.
The other thing is you also make use of your celebrity athletes, someone like a Chris McCormick.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing if they're racing, it's hard for people to see. They're racing and very few people see them. But Macca will be here, and he'll be with you a big chunk of the day.
Definitely.
And then he'll be at the finish line.
Yeah. He will congratulate our athletes, shake hands, give medals, and it's just to really award the athletes and award their achievements on that day. And it's pretty cool to get your medal from Macca.
Absolutely. So the 12 years now, when you look back, what moments stick out is most impactful for you from watching this event and watching something that your dad was involved with, and it's become a family deal with you and your friends? Yeah. What moments stick out to you?
I think the year that sticks out to me the most is 2008. It was a horrible year by rain, so it rained the whole day. We couldn't actually think that we pulled the thing off, but the volunteers really made it. Like, we got so many feedback from athletes what happened out there that we weren't aware of. For example, athletes, they were shivering, they stopped at the 8 stations, and then some ladies from the next village came there by car, picked the athletes up, drove them home, gave them a shower, gave them clothes, brought them back, off they went again on their bikes. So it was a total crazy year, but beautiful to see how the population and the volunteers just reacted on that circumstances. And to see the athlete feedback after that year was amazing. It was really amazing.
When you look at, like you mentioned one athlete who did the first guy to do Ironman from Germany, and you've since then, Jürgen Zach, Norman Stadler, Thomas Hellriegel, Rainer Mueller, who we talked about yesterday. So many of those athletes have established themselves and established Germany as one of the preeminent countries in terms of triathlon. How much of that do you think is because of what you guys have created here in Roth?
Well, it's a working relationship. It's not only because of us, but it's we create a platform for the pros and invite them to come. And all the Germans have come here, and all the internationals as well. Very few only are missing. So yeah, for us, it's that we create a platform that they like, that they can present themselves with their sponsors for media, but also have fun. I mean, also a pro athlete loves to go up Solar Hill.
Yes.
So it's just
with the
awesome.
crowds.
Exactly.
So Chrissy Wellington came here and went, I think, 8:19. Is that her like fast?
Correct. Yeah.
Did that totally stun you that a woman could go 8:19 on this course?
Well, Chrissy came 3 years,
and
3 years in a row, she smashed the record. So it didn't surprise me anymore. And I mean, she was very, very much focusing on the course. She knew exactly what she was doing here. And the last year that she did the world record for the girls and Andreas Rehlert for the men, we just had that perfect day. It was 24 degrees, it was overcast, and there was no wind. And the defining factor in Roth is really the wind. If it gets windy on the bike, world record is not possible. But if it's calm and the temperatures are not that high, it is possible again.
So I heard one of the most anticipated events of this week is a table sprint between you and Chris McCormick and some of the other pros. And that is that during the awards dinner?
No, that's actually after the volunteers party.
After volunteers party.
So that's after the volunteers party, just before we go for our internal after-show party.
Okay, but you're talking the long German beer tables.
Yes.
And you are running on top of the beer tables.
Yeah. through the whole tent, which is 60 meters, so
yes.
it's a sprint. And the last 10 years, I actually won it.
You've won it every year.
Exactly, just one year I failed. So, but I'm kind of the defending champion from last year.
So you beat Mac or whoever else was here last year.
Yeah, it was the pros are racing as well. It's just fun. It's just fun. I don't even know how it started. I think it was an idea of Macca actually.
Well, after a couple of beers, I'm assuming.
Could be.
So. You as a triathlete, is that something because of your dad's involvement here, or were you involved in triathlon even before that as an athlete?
Well, in '84, I was a sponge kid. So
okay. Oh, a sponge kid. You were handing out sponges.
Exactly. So I had a small volunteer shirt that
yes.
went until the knees.
Yes.
And I was handing out sponsors. So I went all the way through. I was a balloon kid and
when I tell a balloon kid that you run in with the winners, right? With the balloons?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So you went from sponge kid to balloon guy to
working with the announcing crew
right.
and providing them the information they needed.
Right.
Because back then you didn't have the timing mats
sure.
and the internet stuff. So you had to be out there with walkie-talkies to get all the information
sure.
to the announcers. So worked all the way through.
Along that line, what's the biggest change that you've seen, if it's technology, in terms of when, as a event producer, that has helped make the events better?
I think it's technology, really. Technology helps a lot. We have a Facebook application where you as an athlete or family member can click on the name of the athlete, and there's a Facebook button, and then we push real-time all the splits of 28 timing mats on the Facebook account. So it's really easy to follow, and I think things like that make it easier, make it more accessible for everyone
right.
to participate. The app, we have all the live tracking on the app and the internet as well. On the race day, we produce our own Challenge TV channel,
right.
so people can see what's happening. So I think technology helped a lot, definitely.
And this event was the first of your challenge series. How many challenge events are there around the world now?
20.
20?
Yeah.
And do you have a specific goal, or is the idea, let's grow the 20 we have and make them as great as possible?
We want to make them as great as possible. There will be some more races joining, definitely,
right.
but we don't want to overgrow it. We rather stay the smaller player in
right.
the field, but what we really want to do is that we put everything on quality and reinvest everything in the races. So that's our real goal.
Do you see yourselves as competitive with Ironman, or do you look at it that, hey, we're both in the same place, both in the same space, but there's room for everybody to create great events?
You just named it. I think it's much better if you concentrate on yourself and try to make your own product the best as possible and
right.
use all energy to do that. And I do believe that there is enough space for everyone, and not only Ironman and Challenge, but also a lot of independent races.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I do think that the more races out there, the better it is for our sport.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we have to grow the sport together. So
nothing better than that.
Yeah.
The impact of triathlon itself on people, because you've seen it since you were a sponge kid. You've seen how this sport can change lives. Have there been some stories that have really impacted you where somebody, like you said, you started as a sponge kid. You probably saw people coming out here volunteering who were 50 pounds overweight, and one day they did the event.
Yeah, I think it is back in the beginning of Challenge. 2002, the first time we offered relay teams.
Yes.
And I remember 3 guys going to the pub every night, smoking, drinking, being overweight, and they just made this bet saying, okay, let's do this relay thing that they offer now. And they started training, stopped smoking, stopped drinking, and now they're all triathletes. So
right.
they went through the relay category into triathlon. So that was awesome.
And then they come back and do the whole race.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Felix, thank you so much for your hospitality, for having us here at Challenge Roth. And I love the fact this is called Triathlon Park now.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
awesome.
that's pretty impactful when they start naming a park after the sport.
No, the city is awesome. I just drove by the municipality, and they have put down all their flags and put up the challenge flags now. So triathlon has again taken over here in Roth and in Hilpolstein and in all the other wonderful communities that host the challenge.
Love it. And the cities all around must just love it.
Definitely. Everyone is getting excited. They put out flags. They clean up everything, and a lot of the cities also throw parties on the Friday. While we have the Passa party here, they still throw parties for the athletes who doesn't want to come to the Passa party.
Right, want to come all the way here, yeah.
Exactly. So they close down roads, put out the beer benches and stuff like that, and just offer own pasta parties. There's a lot of dynamic here. Everyone is really trying to understand the athletes' needs, and that we should all offer something more to the athletes and to their families, and it's great.
I bet early on you had some kickback from street closures and things like that, people being impacted, trying to go to church and all the rest of that. But over time, have you seen that people have adopted that, hey, this is a celebration. This day is a celebration of triathlon, and don't use your vehicle today. Get on a bike and ride around.
Yeah, no, definitely. So speaking about church service, in Roth, for example, the 2 churches schedule their service way earlier so that people can still go. And then when the last finisher is coming out from the canal, first they go into the city and then they come out to Triathlon Park, and the churches ring their bells for the last competitor.
Is that right?
So it's awesome. Everyone is pulling the same side of the string. So
love that. So for all our viewers out there who have never been over here, they need to come give this a try.
Definitely so.
Love it. Hey, and Rainer, can you come in and play a little bit as we go out? All right, I'm Bob Babbitt, and we're on triathlete.com. It's Breakfast with Bob, and we're here at Challenge Roth. Felix, thanks again for being with us, my friend, and I appreciate the hospitality.
No worries. Thank you.
And we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in.